Hey, if you're watching this episode of the podcast on YouTube, just want to remind you we live stream Monday nights exclusively for first members at roosterteeth.com. If you'd like to find out more and get a 30-day free trial, you can click the link in the description below and come watch us live. Virtually. Hello, welcome to this episode of the Rooster Teeth podcast. This week brought to you by...
I want to say that right now because people are going to ask the entire time what the rest of my sweater says. It says straight out of North Pole. So I just wanted to show you that it says that. That's what it says.
Brag about it.
Well,
I'm Gus.
All right.
I'm Gavin.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Gus. So Gavin is under the assumption that I talk to Brandon differently than I talk to anybody else.
You do.
in this
You have
company.
like
You're angry.
50% less patience when it comes to Brandon.
It is
like
true,
Brandon
Brandon.
wrapped his cord, like he flung the arm the wrong way, and you're like, Brandon, you're killing me. Look at what you're doing.
He just-
And anyone else? Anyone else?
Don't say it. Don't say
He
it.
just hit his mic arm with a bottle, too.
This is my first time in the set, and I love
welcome.
it. It's very nice, but this is a whole new arm system. It's not clear which way it goes,
We had
left or
arms
right.
before. They were in front of our bodies.
Yeah, and I just did this. No,
You've been on the set, haven't you?
no,
Like before you got married?
it's
So
nice.
he was turning it the wrong way to where the cord was winding up and
I feel
looked
like-
like it was about to snap. About
It look-
5 seconds before we're going to go live, the last thing I want to happen is to have you fucking tear that XLR out.
I
Look
feel
how
like you would.
blended-
Anyone else, you would have gone. No, spin it the other way.
I was,
With Brandon, it's a different story.
we had a meeting this morning.
Brandon.
Now that you pointed it out,
Killing
I'm,
his whole career. He's like, don't you work in production?
I'm starting to realize I am actually really mean to him. This morning we were at a meeting and we were at a big conference room table. I guess Brandon had walked in before me and he was talking with someone. Then I walked in and Brandon's shit was just all over the table, taking up like 4 seats.
No, it was like 1.5 seats. No one else was in the room.
And I was like, Brandon, what the fuck? Are you taking up enough space? You're like, oh, sorry about that. Then you move like one thing off the table.
yeah, so I could sit down.
And you were just so you
One of
could
those
sit-
spaces should be for me.
You were claiming like 4.
No, okay, barely 1.5 because nobody was in the room, and I was like, I guess I have time here. And then you saw me go in the room. You're like, oh, Brandon's going in the room now. I better go too.
What? No, I just got
You
my
saw
food.
me. Yeah,
I did
you
not
saw
see
me
you
go
go
in there. I saw it.
Dude, laying claim to space is important. Right now, in the studio, in stage 5, animation department has moved out. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of like when you go into a shopping mall now in modern American society, and it's like half the stores are empty. So it's like since animation moved out a week ago, that space hasn't been like repurposed yet. Although I got to tell you, it's one of like the hottest political battles right now.
Oh, my God.
At the company,
What, who
people
gets the
are
space?
jockeying for that
If
space.
you want to know like the inside information about what's going on at Rooster Teeth, it is all about claiming where you're going to sit now that there's been a restructuring. It is the first thing I hear in the morning.
Yep.
It is the last thing I hear as I'm walking out the door.
People are serious business about it. So and it always starts small. This conversation with me, it got floated to me just like a little. Oh, by the way, it's kind of like we had this little big long hour meeting. Then the last 30 seconds is like. It's like, oh, this was really good. So I think we got a good plan for the next quarter. Everything's looking fantastic. But how would you feel if you moved out of your office and we made it the conference room? Okay, we'll talk. We'll meet next week.
Oh, did you not know that?
I was like, what was the last part? What was the last part about me not having?
Is that
Oh, the meeting's ending. Sorry.
You haven't seen the floor plan then.
Yeah, I heard. I haven't seen it now.
I had to go request it.
That Bernie's get kicked
No,
out
no,
of
no,
his
to
room?
see it.
I wouldn't actually be surprised if that was the case, Brandon.
So what is the current
Yeah,
plan?
they're not giving out that floor plan.
And they're like, well, it's subject to change. It's still a work in progress. Like, I know you have it. At least show me what the work in progress is.
Who did you have to get it from?
Glenn?
Did you? Yeah,
What's it going to be?
It's just
It's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress, Gavin. We're not allowed to tell you. We had to sign an NDA before they allow us to see the floor plan.
I don't even work in this building. I don't care.
It's weird to walk in and just see all the open space. I
It's-
feel like I guess I can just sit down here, but I'm like, is this some kind of trap?
I kind of
It's like
miss
there's too much.
miss the busyness of it.
It-
Like
it-
I thought I would love it because it's like
I love it.
There's no one ever in the bog now. There's no line for a coffee. Food line is really short.
There's ice
But
in
it's
the
just-
ice maker.
Yeah, it's just kind of like dead.
The problem is
it's
that it reminds
peaceful.
me of the old job I used to have that underwent layoffs. Like, that's what it
When you were
that's-
like the final
It's
person.
a weird mentality
Right.
because it makes you feel like it's enormous growth, but because it's an empty space, it doesn't feel like
Right.
it,
There's just like boxes of equipment, and you're
Yeah.
like, it's kind of sad, and you
Right.
think that, maybe something happened and something bad is
What
going
happened
on.
at this
It's the
company?
exact opposite of the way you should be feeling because it's like the company's going through this incredible growth.
Right.
But you see an empty space and you're like, oh, this used to be filled with people. It's just a weird feeling.
Yeah, I actually went over there last week with Michael because we were determined to use the space for a dumb video, like a versus. You know how we did the RC cars all around here? We're going to try and think of
RC
something.
cars, you mean when you did the office chairs?
Oh, we did that too?
Yeah.
Right. We did RC cars as well. So we're walking around, and I saw your little Segway thing leant up against the wall.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm quite good on this. Watch this. I had my coffee in my hand. Michael was like, you're going to die. I don't have my phone on me. Don't do anything because we're not going to be able to film it. And I was like, look, I'll just ride it around. Got on it, went forwards, sort of tried to go to the right, realized I was stood on it backwards. It went left. I like flung upside down like I stepped on a banana and poured coffee all over myself. It was amazing. I fell off within about 3 seconds. Nope.
No, Michael didn't have his phone.
Yeah.
It's
He
too
was
bad.
right. I shouldn't have got on it. I ate immediate shit.
Best argument for having security cameras in the studio that I've ever heard. Like if we had that
We've
security
been
camera.
trying for years. Let's just get some nests or something.
We should.
I got 4 if you want
We'll
'em.
get some local version that isn't online.
Too much NDA stuff. We can't do that.
Yeah, fucking security company wouldn't install those. Said it was an invasion of privacy or something.
Yeah. It's one of like the unwritten rules of Rooster Teeth is we don't do hidden camera stuff. We have done hidden camera stuff, like the Blaine thing, but it's like every time we do it, it's like a massive exception.
The scorpion
and I
thing?
swear I'm never going to do it again. The what?
Scorpion thing?
The scorpion thing. I didn't like that when they did the scorpion thing. I don't like hidden camera stuff.
No.
I don't like it. I
Although-
want people to be able to be comfortable in the office.
They need to get better at hiding cameras.
Yeah.
I found mine immediately.
You're also
a
Gavin, you're a very observant person. So you're a bad person to do it to.
The first thing that I think of when something feels slightly amiss is like, is someone filming? I just look for cameras.
It's gonna be like that for the rest of your life.
Because you've come from a British land of like CCTV.
It's
Yeah,
like
leave the
it's
corner.
like a warm blanket. You can pull over yourself like, oh, I'm being watched. Everything's okay.
You know who kicked ass on the Segway? Little mini rider?
Zachary?
He killed it.
Yep.
Like he just jumped on that thing. Some of us are kind of convinced that he has one and just acted like he didn't. Because he got on the thing and he was like a natural on it. Which it's very intuitive and it's easy to pick up, but it usually takes like maybe like a minute, 2 before people get comfortable. Most of the time people are like, whoa, 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 whoa. And they go, he just jumped on it, was spinning, and then zipped off on it. I was like, all right, I don't know.
Is it in this building?
It's over there. I tried to get on it earlier.
Did you?
And
Did
then
you really?
I tried for about 5 seconds. And I thought, no, I can see myself dying.
Let's get
on
it
this.
so
Yeah.
Brandon can try it.
Yeah.
I have
never
a
done it.
problem. I need it for a production, and I set it there, and it's got like 2 bars left to charge, and I can't find the charger for
What's
it.
the charger for it?
What?
What's the connector?
It's just a thing.
USB-C?
It's like a breakout box with
Lightning.
like a little, you know, the little roundy plug that goes
Yeah.
into like a laptop. Got one of those roundy plugs.
Does it say
I-
the voltage on it?
Well, I can't find it, so
No. I'm saying,
on the
sorry,
device.
on the actual.
No, I don't know. I haven't gotten to the point where I thought about replacing it.
I
so
wish every product
I'm
you
so
bought
confident I'm
came.
gonna find it.
I wish every product came with like 3 AC adapters, just so you could put them everywhere you need them, like at home, at work, just so you never lose one.
That's
I
my.
I would be happy if they just all were labeled what they were for.
Yeah.
So when you get like one of these DC plugs and you're like, it says Asian power device, like what does that mean?
That's for LSC.
What's that? Is it?
that's
yeah,
right.
so they're called, yeah.
That's exactly what that's for.
But it's a generic name. It's like put the name of the product that it goes with on the
Well,
power
the whole
supply.
point is that they can be for a wide variety of products.
I recently got a new thing for the vlog that I was testing. The company makes my drone, which by the way, I ran an interesting problem today. I'll talk about this. I can't figure if I can talk about it in a second. But the company that makes my drone is DJI.
Mm-hmm.
And they make a stabilizer for a mobile phone. So I have a stabilizer that's for my DSLR, but it's massive. It's hard to pack. It's a much smaller stabilizer that I can just hook up my iPhone to and walk around and do this stuff with. It's got the weirdest power cable that I've ever seen in my life. It's USB to stereo mini.
USB to stereo, like an
Power.
1/8 stereo jack, like a headphone? No.
Yeah, an 1/8 inch one, yes.
Okay.
It's the small one with like the 3 bands on it. Like
Yeah.
it's a microphone headset,
Yeah.
you know?
That seems dangerous.
That's weird, man.
You gotta break
dangerous.
it off inside of the
Like,
phone.
what if you plugged it into headphones on something?
Yeah, no, it had like stickers all over it. Do not plug this cable into anything else. Like, well, then
Right.
why make it that? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Because it would blow it.
Yeah, I would totally blow it.
Hmm.
Blow it so hard.
it
Blow it good.
might. I can't hook up my iPhone to it. 'Cause I don't have a fucking iPhone jack.
I think you can talk about what you wanted to if you speak in broad terms.
Okay, so I was going to try to fly my drone today because we were doing some fun stuff. We're about to start productions on 11 Little Roosters, and I wanted to include that as part of the vlog. And I was like to do like fun little drone shots for part of the vlog if I have time to do it. And I got my super portable Mavic drone back after I smashed it into the wall. $280 worth of damage, by the way.
Damn.
I think I got off light.
Damn.
So you should change your title of that video to "I did $280 worth of damage
That
to a
would
drone."
make my life easier, so people wouldn't come after me so hard. It's like, it is an expensive piece of equipment, but I've also had a fender bender in my car in my life. That's a way more expensive. Anyway, I'll stop justifying this. So I got the drone back. I went to go fly it today. I booted up the software on my phone, because that's how it connects to it, to do it. And the GPS said, this is now currently a temporary no-fly zone. And I think it's because there's a major movie now that's in one of the stages here. And I think that they set up a no-fly zone with the FAA for drones because, without going too much into it, there's a really popular director that's got a sci-fi movie, and so pictures of the set and stuff like that would be a big
They
deal.
can do that?
I didn't know there's a thing.
I've seen that for like Game of Thrones also, where you'll see like when they're filming like drone shots of it. So it makes total sense that they would be able to set up.
I'm surprised
a temporary
Apple
no-fly
hasn't
zone.
done that around their UFO building then, because people keep flying drones over that thing.
I assume they don't have anything secret going on. It's still under construction, so
So could they shoot it down without getting in trouble?
I don't know if they can
Like,
do
oh,
that.
we have
You
a-
went
we
to
have
a
a-
dark place with it really fast.
No, I'm saying, it's
well, they
in
could
your-
shoot it down and reimburse you for it.
There is a case right now of a guy who shot down a drone that his neighbor flew over his land, and he just shot it out of the sky. It's actually considered, I don't know if they've settled it. It was a few months ago. I don't know if they have settled it, but it was supposed to be this landmark case of like, what are the rights? Can you just fly your fucking drone over somebody else's property?
Do you own airspace?
You own, I think, up to a certain altitude.
Yeah, we talked about this once. It was like, how high does your property?
October 28th, 2015, judge rules man had right to shoot down drone over his house.
There you go.
So does that
It's a
mean
year ago at this point. Wow.
anyone can just pop up a no-fly zone? Like if you didn't want people flying over your house, could you? Because eventually drones then are going to be navigating the small, narrow tunnels where you actually can fly.
Yeah. I think it's an interesting problem because I do think it's a growing industry. We're going to see more and more of these. I think, ironically, what's going to keep people from flying like recreational drones is not the FAA with airplanes or property rights and all that stuff. I think what's going to happen is we're going to have a lot of commercial drones like delivering shit like Amazon and pizza and stuff like that. And then we'll be told, oh, you can't fly drones because you'll get in the way of the drones.
So it's like airspace, but for a smaller vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like they'll license the actual physical airspace.
Don't know.
So
yeah.
then- or
I
they'll
think
have-
the first thing they'll do is
I'd buy
block
some.
all the recreational users. That's
Yeah,
it.
they'll just have to develop some kind of autonomous air traffic control where the drones can communicate with each other to determine right away.
Shit, Skynet, literally.
Fifth Element stuff there.
It is funny though when you see like I think I was watching one of the Star Wars movies, and they showed traffic in the sky and it's all in lanes, and that always seems silly to me. But I guess it makes sense. But it'd be weird if like I want to fly there, but I got to go down there and then take a right to get there. It just doesn't make any
That's
sense
how
to me.
planes work, kind of. Like they have like
Not at
specific
all.
routes. They're like basically here.
No.
you need to be at this.
How do
altitude.
planes work? What is that?
Well,
So you're a pilot, Mr. Farmahini. You're cleared for takeoff from Austin.
yeah, you have like your flight plan. You're like, all right, I know I got to get to this. I'm gonna get to this altitude when I'm going this direction. You can't just go any altitude. You got to know like what the specific altitude is for
You pretty
the
much fly
direction
in a
you're going.
straight line to where you want to go. Once you get close to your destination, you want to land at a specific point. They do control the traffic there, but it's like 1% of the journey.
Yeah.
They actually do have routes. Brandon is right.
They
about
do
it.
have routes, but it's not like I gotta go to Houston from Austin, take a left to get to Dallas. I still fly to fucking Dallas.
Right, but on the
Yeah.
way to Dallas, there are corridors that you have to adhere to.
I get it. When they come back like west to east, they follow the jet stream and stuff like that. I know that they do that. Of course, they also take the most efficient route as well. That makes sense. What I'm saying is like if I'm in a city and I can see where I'm supposed to go and I'm in a flying car, how does it make sense to go down and then take a right?
That's
like
why
a
they're
90 turn?
never. Yeah, it defeats the purpose of having the flying car. That's why never gonna happen.
The
There's no way
lanes
you can
in
just.
air traffic are different than the lanes in regular like ground traffic. They're
Well, if there were that many planes, it would be different. But
Did you get hit in that huge traffic jam that was today? They shut down one of our freeways today.
They
oh my
did?
god, what happened?
Why?
There's a big accident. 2 semi trucks hit, and it was they shut down 71 for like 3 hours.
Damn.
Woof.
Yeah,
Seems like that happens frequently around here. Semi trucks hitting each other.
they also just shut stuff down. Like they shut that. Remember that we talked about the. Anyway, we talked about it. Won't bring it up again.
Okay.
They shut down the freeway for just like
Oh, they shut down
seemingly no
whatever?
reason.
Yeah. Stuff. City of Austin loves shutting stuff down, especially if it's like for a festival, like South by, stuff like that. RTX.
Hey, that's how we learned that we could shut down Congress Avenue to shoot day 5.
That was insane. I can't believe that was legal.
Well, we had an office that was on
I guess
Congress.
anything is legal if you pay enough for it.
Well, that's you started. No, not even.
so.
What's enough though? So you worked at the Congress office. That was the first
Yeah.
office we had. Where you? What employee number were you, Brandon?
7
Another
or
hot
6.
topic of.
Another
6 or
hot
7.
topic of
I don't.
debate.
You call me whatever number. I don't want to start a thing.
How could you be 6?
You have to not count Jason.
Wasn't Nathan 6?
Nathan would have been 7. Jason would have been 6.
Really?
That Jason was.
No,
fine.
Jason would
think
have
I
been.
have a
Actually,
sub,
okay,
yeah.
let's go back. Jason would have been 5. Nathan would have been 6, and Joel technically would have been 7.
Yes.
So,
So
you're
that would
like
have made
20.
you or Jack 8.
Farnsworth.
Yes. I can check. I mean, I think it's on an old pay stub. Because everybody cares about that.
Oh, well, I might have started the. And technically, I guess Dan worked at the company for like a day.
No, like an hour.
That was, yeah, he was going pretty quick. He was like, yeah, forget this business. I'm not coming.
Yeah,
This
it's
seems hard.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, that's back in the days when a desk would have been in like the cubby for the washing machine.
Well, I think he was at the counter of the kitchen. is
Yeah,
what
I
it is.
think you're right. I think
Oh,
that's
that's
where
where I sat.
That's where he was.
That's why you kept putting like shit on my desktop wallpaper.
that's where yeah. You used to do that all the time. That's where I think you set up our YouTube account on that counter.
I did. I emailed YouTube and I said, "Can we have Rooster Teeth, please?"
Yeah, I remember when that happened.
And they were like, "Here it is. Here's the password." I was like, "Yeah,
Yep.
easy as that."
Here, let me read this thing here. I want to remind everyone this episode of the Rooster Teeth podcast is brought to you by.
So, Gavin, you suggested every product coming with multiple power supplies,
Yeah.
right? And just like separating them, like different places. It's my strategy with wedding rings. This is actually like one of 5 wedding rings
Because you
that
know
I
you're gonna
own.
lose them.
Oh yeah. So I got one in my car, one probably gonna put at work, a couple at home,
His girlfriend has one.
and they're all Amazon. They're like $12
Why don't you just wear it?
What kind of ring you got?
Why you got this problem?
because I'm gonna lose it.
You'll lose it if you're wearing
What's
it.
the
I don't
wear your ring?
understand
What's
that logic.
what's this?
It's gonna
image that
fall
we're
off.
looking
I'm
at?
gonna
You're saying
put
you
it
can't-
somewhere. I'm not gonna put it. I'm gonna put it like.
Why can't you just keep 4 at home and when you
What's-
lose one, go home and get it? Why do you need one immediately? Like, is it a tragedy if you're not wearing your ring for like half an hour?
Well, I don't know. It's better to come home with a ring on than to come home and like, why's your ring not on?
What's the image we just saw? Is that a note from your wife?
Yeah, I tweeted that because it bothers her a lot when I don't wear it, and I haven't been wearing it that much. So she put a very, very large note next to my on the table next to the bed.
Motor-sized.
You know what I find interesting about the marriage ring situation is that women wear a ring starting much sooner than men. Like, men don't wear anything when they're engaged.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's probably why it's a bigger deal to her. It's like, look, I've been wearing this engagement ring for how long?
She's like a year and 2 months.
A year and 2 months.
That's not it for her. She just wants other women to know that this D is no longer available.
Yeah, you are in high demand. I don't
Yeah.
blame her. You are
I was like,
fucking hot property.
I was like, you sure this?
He looks good at the moment.
Oh, thank you. You sure this is not going to make people like want me more?
Yes.
See? Because it's like, oh, look, that's not available.
Not you, but attractive people.
Yeah, fair enough. That's what I meant.
Let's go back to that picture. I want to see what Brandon's nightstand looks like.
No, you might take him a second to pull it up.
Is that
was-
your side?
You had a little pop
There
figurine.
it
What is that? Is that Grand Moff Tarkin or is it Hodor?
That's Hodor.
Why are the R's capital?
No, not the R in your.
Oh, never mind.
It's the R
Do
in
you
your.
have
No
do you have a
consistency.
cat?
I have
Real
no
dog.
Cat. We have a dog, and she sheds a ton.
I can see the shedding
Yeah,
hair right
she
there.
sheds nonstop. And it's like, you go to the groomer, they're like, all right, can we have $30 to do a shedding treatment? You're like, sure. And then she gets home and just sheds all over everything.
You should buy a Furminator brush.
I have one.
Hey.
I don't want to do that.
What's a Furminator?
I bought it, and then I was like, man, I just assumed by the name of this, it would be some kind of like more automatic system.
It's
Like,
just like a special brush that gets to the undercoat and pulls out all the loose hair.
yeah,
Brandon's
I
there,
gotta
yes.
go. I'm like,
This sucks.
You don't wanna
this
brush your
does
dog.
Suck.
It fixes the
And
problem.
she hates it. That's
Just
what
do
they
what
do. They furminate her, but like even when she comes home, it's still like.
So
just-
you don't want to pay $30 to them. You could pay $30 to the store one time and get the brush to do it yourself.
I've done both of those things, but I still won't brush it because I did this. I'm like, Penny and I looked at each other and we're like, we don't want to do this.
Dogs love it. Dogs love being brushed.
Really?
You should try again.
Yeah, just
I'll
try
try
it.
again. The thing is, it pulls her hair, and I feel it, and it's like I feel like it hurts her.
No.
Yeah, but she's been through a lot. She ate a bunch of lube.
She did a bunch.
She ate a bunch of lube.
So
I want to go back to this photo though, because I know something else
yeah.
here too.
Okay.
In the reflection of the lamp on the base, I
God.
noticed this is your side of the bed, right?
Yeah.
So I noticed there's window right there to beside the bed on this side.
or is that a flash from the
Behind
camera?
Hodor.
No, yeah, behind Hodor. It's like the blinds. I can
Yeah.
see the blinds. So you sleep on the window side of the bed. You don't sleep on the door side of the room?
Not my choice.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you if you're laying in bed, you're on the left side.
I'm on the left side, and like I sleep on my left side, so it's like
You face
every
the
time I go
wall.
to bed, I'm like, all right, goodbye.
And you're off. You
Yeah,
face
I'm
the,
facing the
You
other
always
way.
You and
sleep on the
Hodor.
same side?
I always like I'm always on my left side.
I sleep on my right side.
I sleep on whatever the hell side is cool and comfortable.
Wait a
in that
minute.
moment.
Wait a minute. You talking about side of your body or side of the bed?
I'm talking about the side of his body.
Okay,
Side
if you
of my
sleep on a different side of the bed every night, that's anarchy. Like I couldn't imagine that. But yeah, I mean, how your position in bed? I assume I change like 80 times a night too. Do you just like lay in one position? And
I don't
turn off
know. I mean, like,
a
I don't-
robot.
I don't watch like a videotape of myself at night, but I like usually fall asleep on my left side.
It's like I'll wake up in different positions, but I will
Yeah.
fall asleep in one. And before I fall asleep, I may toss and turn a little bit. But if I move, I know I'm like, I'm not going to fall asleep this way. This is just temporary.
I
move
love
back to my
falling
right side.
asleep on my back though. Like the feeling of dozing off while you're laid straight back is much more relaxing than any other position.
You know what's a feeling I love? I love falling asleep with something in my hand, and like to get you to that point where you drop it, like, and that's when you're asleep. And it's usually I wake up for like half a second. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm super asleep right now, and then I go back to bed. I don't know why. It's like if I'm ever like doing something and I'm about to fall asleep and I have something in my hand, I just like hold
What
it.
kind of stuff have you got in
You
your
do that.
I'm scared I'm
like a
gonna-
phone. It's my phone.
I'm scared it's gonna happen if I have a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
drop the baby?
Just drop the baby.
But
I'm,
don't-
I'm
Oh,
you're
so
fine. You'll be
afraid.
fine.
Next
I'm
to a
gonna. I'm
baby.
afraid I'm
You'll
gonna
be
leave it
fine.
in the car.
That's a legitimate concern. You should be worried about that.
I will absolutely.
You should be very
Just
worried
crack
about
the
that.
window.
I don't know if that works.
Leave a bowl of water.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
That's one of the things. Whenever I hear that story, it's like
I can
people get
see
very
that
mad at
happening.
the parent, which I totally get. But at the same time, it's like I know nobody left their kid in the car on purpose. It's just like that's got to be fucking. It's a horrible mistake, like a gaffe. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just like with such huge impact on your life.
Yeah, and it's never like they're at a crack house getting high. It's they went to work and they didn't realize they
That's
had their
it.
kid in the morning and they were supposed to take him to daycare.
Yeah. Remember that dentist years ago? He like went to the office to like pick up something on a Saturday and like had his kid in the car, and then while he's in there, somebody busted in with like a broken tooth and had to go into emergency surgery. It's like, I mean, I could see how you would forget my kid is
Yeah.
sitting in the car. Yeah, just awful.
No,
So what happened to the kid?
Kid died.
Oh,
Yeah, it's terrible, dude. It's terrible.
I don't remember that one. That's
Human
awful.
children are very poorly made.
Go on.
Just saying, like, look how dependent humans are, like children are, for so long compared to like a lot of other, animals.
animals just plop out and walk around. A human baby can't even lift its head up.
See?
How do we evolve that way?
I have a new godchild, and I like went and I was like holding it. They're like, no, like give me like 10 different instructions on like how to support it. And I'm like, just get this thing. I can't hold this. But it's insane, and it's like
Is the mortality rate of animals as high? Like, because like kids can die in a cot, in a crib, if you have them wrong, right? Just if they lie wrong or like suffocate
Sure.
themselves.
They don't really know what causes that. Talking about SIDS.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't really know. There's like lots of different ways to like approach it, like laying the kid flat on their back, but it's just one of those things that's just.
But I assume a baby giraffe doesn't ever just die of sleeping.
I saw a
It'll
horrible
get eaten, maybe.
GIF on Reddit, which was like an antelope giving birth, and the calf was about halfway out, and then all of a sudden the mother antelope like gets up and runs away. Baby pops out, and you're like, "What the hell?" And then a cheetah just comes up and like lays down like with its paws around the new calf. And the
Damn.
calf is like shaking it off and looking around. It's like, how fucking short is that animal's life? It literally, as soon as it's born, it's eaten.
what a great day for that cheetah though. It's like fresh.
Some veal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bones are still soft.
Yeah.
The
I
deer's
mean-
like, come on, I literally just got born. You just watched me get born, dude.
Right.
Give me a second.
It's there's something about that, like nature's brutal, I know, but there was just something about that I was just like, this is depressing and horrible.
So what makes the sea so much worse is you're not just looking like left and right. Something could come from above or below and eat you.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, Jaws
Fuck
ruined
the
me. I'm
sea.
always imagining something coming straight up at me. Gonna go chomp.
Yeah.
Straight at your niblets.
Yes. The sea is terrifying. Like if you really
But it's
stop
pretty
and
fucking
think
empty
about it.
too. Like you can go in the sea and there's nothing around. Like you can see for, it feels like miles and there's just nothing.
It's empty.
It's empty.
It's like where animation used to be.
Yeah, that's exactly right. A lot of growth in the ocean, but
Very
it doesn't feel
sparse.
like it.
So you're talking about your wedding ring. You're very recently married,
Marcus
I
has the best
am.
wedding ring, by the way.
and
What is it?
He fashioned a ring out of a meteorite.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he made his own wedding ring.
Isn't it
I
gonna
think I
give
saw
him
someone do that on
radiation
Reddit
poisoning?
once. Was that him?
Might have been.
I saw a post about that years ago. I thought. I went to your wedding.
Thank you
And
so much.
I gotta. I'm gonna make fun of you, so don't thank me now.
Okay.
I gotta say, there was a period in the wedding where you had to repeat after the priest in Spanish, and people were laughing.
I
In
was
the
laughing. What do you
church.
mean?
It was so rough.
We were all laughing.
You didn't practice?
No.
You really-
She only told me about it once, and then I forgot. I assumed that when he's like, repeat after me, it would be slow and enunciated. But he was just like, and he knew I didn't speak English. Or,
Spanish.
sorry, I didn't speak English. He knew I didn't speak Spanish. And it wasn't like, repeat after me. Donde está la biblioteca?
We would have been there forever.
Why are you asking where
It
the
was
library
like-
is at your wedding?
I'm just as an example. That's what that's what I
vow to
thought.
always go to the library.
And he was just super fast and then super quiet. And then there was a choir in the background, and I wanted to like look over and tell them to shut up.
Yeah, that'd be great at your
But we
wedding.
were laughing, and the priest,
Shut up, singers.
the priest was laughing, and I was turning around all of Paula's side. They were all laughing.
Check cue
And-
cards.
I knew the worst. Every time somebody told me that it wasn't that bad, I knew, oh my God, it was that much worse. My aunt was the only one who came up to me and said, "You suck." It was bad.
Yeah, it was bad. I think I had a mean tweet about it.
It was funny though. I replied to it. I would think
yeah.
you were like, I would never want.
I hope my life is never dependent on Brandon saying one intelligible sentence in Spanish. Like
Yeah.
that would be it for me.
My reply was, me too.
Yeah.
You should play Lopez. From
It
now
was
on.
bad. I'm not gonna watch the video of it ever. I
Yeah,
can't
don't
stand
don't
to
do
it.
that. You can relive the humiliation anytime you want to in your head.
Yeah,
you
then,
don't
then,
need to watch the
then the
video.
priest made fun of you in Spanish, which was even better.
Did he really?
Good man. Could you imagine if he
I'd
was
be
like
livid.
a hard ass Catholic priest? It would have been way worse.
Actually, it was kind of nice. I think
And
I
you
don't
paid
remember
him?
it's been a while. I said something like, "All right, we've tortured Brandon enough, making him speak Spanish."
Yeah,
that's
that sounds like
fine.
a nice guy.
yeah, well,
Yeah,
I feel like
he
though-
was super cool.
If it's like the bride or the groom, you're not allowed to make fun of them.
No, go ahead.
Really?
My thing was like, if people are starting out the night with a laugh, good night.
All right. Fair play.
And it's like, yeah, I can take it. It's at my expense. And it's my fault. I should have practiced that.
Has your life changed at all since you've been married now?
No.
Pretty much the same. Were you guys living together before?
Yeah, we lived together before. We've been living together, I mean, unofficially, basically since we started dating. So like almost 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
No difference.
Just like going home and that was it.
Have you guys had sex yet?
We're still kind of planning, still kind of waiting. Yes, we did have sex. That was like all the honeymoon was just like no touristy shit or barely anything, just hanging out. That's too much information. I just volunteered.
Where'd you guys go?
That's the problem with being married now. And I'm worried. Tulum, Mexico. It's like 2 hours out of Cancun.
2 hours out of Cancun. It can be like, I think Austin's 2 hours out of Cancun. They can literally be just about anywhere.
like
Yeah,
a 2 hour
driving.
drive. Okay.
Yeah, 2 hour drive out of Cancun, and it was like super chill. The hotel was up on the rocks, so you're right on top of the water. Because I don't do beach shit. I'm not a beach guy. I don't like sand. Gets
beaches are
everywhere.
great.
Gets everywhere.
Well, the beaches are
I don't want to go in that water. I
Beaches
don't know
are
what's in the
terrible.
water. Thank you. And we just like 4 or 5 days of just like eating nonstop, and it was in Mexico.
Did you drink pina
So
coladas?
everything was like super. Oh my god, I had like probably in the 4 days, I don't know, like 20 pina coladas.
That's nice. That's
And
a
they
good drink.
brought them to me, and I was like trying to save face. I was like, "Can I get a double shot of rum?" Because they were laughing at me every
That's
time I
you saving
ordered a
face.
pina colada. Yeah, I was like, I can do a double shot of rum
yeah,
here.
just load it up.
And it's like, you can't laugh at me. I'm coming to this. I'm on the beach here. I should be able to order a pina colada laugh free.
No,
Sir.
laughing at you?
Absolutely.
They were kind of.
Don't worry about it.
I'll drink a pina colada on the beach.
Sweet.
That's-
Let's go to the
that's-
beach, hang out, and we'll
yeah.
get some pina coladas.
You know what I love about the beach? I feel like it can run really fast on the beach. Just in that bit of water that is really thin and it's sort of solidified the sand a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like I run faster on that than any other
I've
surface.
never had that experience. You feel like you run faster there?
Yeah, because it's like you're kicking up sand too, and it's like it makes a cool sound. I'm sure it's really slow in comparison to the land.
I like the sound effects. And
Yeah.
there's more wind out there because you're at the beach. So
Yeah.
it's like rushing by.
I just feel like, whew.
See, what I always love is whenever we travel and we end up going to like Canada or like any regular country that has the metric system, and you get on like a treadmill at the hotel gym and it's in kilometers and not miles. It's like fucking running 12 kilometers an hour. Look at me, I'm fucking hauling ass. You see that 12? I never see a 12 in the speed.
Do you ever see double digits?
Rarely. I'll do sprints for whatever. Right before the Amazing Race, I was doing sprints, and I was sprinting 10 to 12 miles an hour.
Have you ever just turned it up as fast as it can go and tried to
I think
run
mine goes to 12. I think that's the highest it would go. But like I could do 12. I could do like an eighth of a mile, which is like half a lap around a track. I mean, that's like hauling fucking ass. So it's been a while since I've done that. So I did like the sprinting stuff. What's up?
This was Marcus's album I've seen. The guy who made his own ring out of meteorite.
Oh, really?
I
Yeah.
didn't realize it was Marcus. There's a fucking picture of him.
it? He's on Reddit.
It was on Imager.
Imgur.
Oh, it's totally
Imager.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah. Imgur?
Imgur.
Imager.
Imager?
What fucking planet are you from?
I mean, it's spelled Imgur,
It is.
but everyone
Imgur.
knows you don't say it that way.
Nobody says that.
Was there a
platform.
press conference?
Oops. That was my
Don't
fault.
worry, Bernie. I'm on your side.
Do you say Imgur?
Hold on.
I've never said it out loud. I just say it in my head.
Because you're definitely wrong. 'Cause you kept saying espresso this morning.
Yeah, but I knew it's ES. I just in my head but in my head it didn't sound like I was saying espresso.
Espresso.
Like if I would have
Like,
spelled
he
it, I
kept
would have
saying
put
it- he kept saying it
EXPRESSEO.
so confidently, I thought maybe he's talking about a drink that is a registered trademark called espresso.
Let's go with that.
And then
Why do you give Brandon the benefit of the doubt? You'd never give anybody
he was
that.
Yeah.
so confident in the stupidity.
How did you have so many bad interactions with Brandon in one day?
Because we spent 5 minutes together, and it was just
It
like,
was not 5 minutes. It was like less than 90 seconds.
it was probably like 90 seconds.
So here's the problem that probably Gus experiences more than anybody else now that there's way less people in this building. Like we went from like, what do you think, about 125 people in this building to about 40?
Ooh, maybe
Maybe 40?
Yeah,
Yeah. We might have like 25,
yeah.
20, anywhere between 25 and 40. It's a very big building, so it's like you run into people occasionally. But as a result of not seeing people all that often, when you see people, it's kind of a bigger deal. So there's more of an obligation to stop and have a chat because it's like, oh, here's another person. When there was 150 more people here, and we're walking around, you're like, hey, yeah. You just wave at people or nod or whatever. You can't really do that now when you're like approaching each other for like a minute,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then it's like you
See 'em
feel like
coming.
you have to have some kind of interaction.
Is
Do you
that-
feel that way?
Yes, I guess, but I specifically walk past in the building to avoid human interaction.
Do you really?
Yeah, I know like where the least possible chance of running into people
You're
is.
pretty close to an exit. Like you
Do
can
you
go
ro-
out the back.
Yeah, but I can't come in that door, which is a pain
Do
in
you
the
just
ass.
walk the fire lanes?
Yes, I walk the fire lanes around the building to avoid
Which are
avoid running
pitch
into
black
people.
and
There's some lights.
yeah.
Gus breaks out his iPhone.
Is that area up for grabs until it's decided? For example,
Just plant a flag like the Oklahoma land rush.
can I rent one of those bouncy castles and just play on it for like a day?
Do it.
Yeah, I will give you if I can get in the bounce cancel. You have permission to do that.
Let's do it.
No, you said you're doing it, and I'm going to be in it. That's all. That's the whole agreement.
All right.
Wasn't the there's this place in Austin. I think it was it a piñata place or a bouncy castle place that got shut down in East Austin? It's like the ultimate gentrification story, where the leaseholder who'd been there forever, they were leasing this place, and the landlord was like, "Nope, you're gone." Like within a day, according to many people, broke every possible covenant when it comes to leasing property. Kicked out this piñata place and then replaced it with like the most hipstery thing you can imagine, which was a coffee shop with cats.
They revoked the lease, then like overnight bulldozed the building.
Yeah,
So that there was no like recourse. There was no
Right,
way to
nothing you could
protest
do.
because the building was gone.
right.
And then they built a cafe with cats.
With cats.
Which in the cat cafe's defense was not their fault.
Not in the least.
They just happened to be there, and they're the subject of a lot of hate as a result of that, even though they had nothing to do with
All
it.
the pinata fans.
Yeah, they just happened to.
That's
happened to
absolutely
be
the
there.
Streisand effect, though, because the only reason I know that this cafe exists in Austin is because people are protesting it constantly. Protesting people who just like started a business and rented a property that was available, and then there it is. It has cats in it, right?
Yeah, and I think they did a crowdfunding thing to get that thing started.
God, it looks like such a brand new East Austin building too. Like they knocked down like some old, probably 100-year-old building, and they built like this little thing, but then all the xeriscaping out front. It's just like it just feels like so East Austin to me.
Yeah, they had a Kickstarter. What was this?
How'd they do?
They raised $62,000.
Not bad.
How many cats did that buy?
All
A
the
lot of
cats you
cats.
could want.
Cats are free, man. They're just walking down the street.
Yeah, but those are like
Shitty
cats.
cats.
Yeah, I want to.
I just
Take one of
adopted
those
a street cat.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't learn your There's the
Oh,
there's the
wow.
demolished
Yeah,
one.
they bulldozed it. That's really, I mean, it looks like they bulldozed it with stuff in it.
Yep, they did.
Well, like all the inventory was in it?
Yep.
What?
They really
see,
hated that place.
They should find out where the landlord
Listen.
is and protest the landlord for doing
What are you
that.
supposed to do with piñatas? I'm just saying they fulfilled their destiny.
I would have totally fucked with them too. Like like overnight they bulldoze it, and overnight before the next morning I would have gone out there with a bunch of fucking candy and just thrown it all out. Like that was it.
I would have paid a bunch of kids to pretend to be dead in the rubble.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
You're a sick person.
It'd be horrifying.
Yeah, it would be horrifying. It's horrifying you even thought of it. It's horrifying on a lot of levels.
Speaking of horrifying, I went downtown this weekend.
I'm going to say I know this story.
Downtown's already horrifying. I try to avoid that when all possible on the weekend.
All right, go ahead, Gavin.
Yeah, I never go out anymore. It's never do it. But
Why do you think that is? You think people don't like you, so they don't invite you places? Is that what it is?
no, I just stopped going out. Stop drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since I moved out from Jeff's, I don't drink every day. So now whenever I get drunk,
So on average, you're still an alcoholic.
yeah,
You were
But now-
drunk every night.
No. I would drink most nights, but I was never drunk every night. I'd have like one whiskey.
That's not drinking.
Are you drunk every night?
Yeah.
Every night you get drunk.
Yes.
I don't like being
How do you
drunk.
do? Okay, go ahead.
I-
You drink.
I'm interrupting your story with horrible things about
dislike it.
Gus's life.
Anyway, so I was because I never drink anymore. Total lightweight. I was like, hey,
It's
bevs,
the
bevs,
best.
bevs. Yeah, it's very cheap, especially when everyone's buying your drinks anyway. So we're out in this place. It's one of those places where the bar itself was quite small, but the outdoor bit was massive. Loads of people, and one of those porta potties in the back. And I didn't actually bother looking inside to see if there was a
What do they call
A
a porta
restaurant.
potty in the UK?
plasty bog.
A plasty bog?
No, I wish they would.
Have another one of those friends.
So I spotted it, and I was like, yeah, I'll go and take a nice leak. The door didn't lock, but there was a line.
Cheeky leaky.
Cheeky. There was a line for the bog, and it didn't lock. So everyone sort of knew that it didn't lock because the person in front knew that it didn't lock. So there wasn't any.
And
like,
you also watched the person go in.
yeah, you knew not to go in because you just
Yeah.
watched them go in. So
It's like a magic
unwritten
trick.
rule. Yeah, so I was in line. There were like 3 or 4 people ahead of me. Slowly got to the front, went in, whipped out my John Thomas, started going.
Totally normal behavior.
Normal behavior. I was like, I'm not worried about the door. People just watch me walk in. I've been peeing for about 2 seconds. Someone just barges in, flings the door open, stands next to me. I'm like
How do you stand next to someone in a porta potty?
very, very uncomfortably close. So I'm there sort of like, what are you doing, dude? I'm peeing here. And he was like, I gotta do this in here. There's too many people around. I just gotta do this in here. Whips out this little thing of cocaine, right? And then pulls like a little metal strip, does a line of coke.
Off your dick?
Nope.
Oh.
But within, drip distance of little coke nugs could have landed on my penis.
nugs.
And I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know where to start. Like, just livid at this guy. It's like, am I going to get arrested if a cop comes in and sees you doing coke with my
Unquestionably.
penis out?
Unquestionably, they wouldn't assume like the guy just walked in and
Yeah.
you don't know him.
It was just like...
You'd be
like
deported.
it was like this totally normal thing. Just, I'm going to do a line of coke next to a complete stranger. And I'm like, oh my God. And
How to explain this? How do you do it?
he did it like this.
With what?
He had it was like a little pot, and the
Yeah.
lid had a thing on it. Like a
Oh,
little
so
metal
he just
thing.
pulls it out and it's got like Coke on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
He'd like screwed around, and I'm like trying to figure out what's happening. He didn't say, "Oh, I'm about to do a line right here."
Which the polite thing to do.
So he's doing that, and I'm like just speechless. I wrap up my piss. It's quite long.
So real quick, how's your stream? Is it staying pretty steady during all this, or does it
It's
like
pretty steady.
I didn't know how you accidentally turn and piss all over him.
Well,
he would have got out of there?
yeah. So I finished up, and then I went out, and then he followed me out, started talking to me. Realized I was British, and was like, "Oh, British, huh? That means you're not circumcised." And I was like, "I mean, you just saw my penis. Why didn't you look while we were in there?"
He didn't check you out?
I don't think so.
You're not circumcised?
No, I'm from England.
We've talked about this before.
I'm from England, and I'm not Jewish.
We might not have talked about it when Brandon's on. the
Yeah.
podcast.
It comes up in the story. He's a gay man, and he was like, I've never sucked off an uncircumcised penis. You want to head back in there, and I'll blow you? And I was like, this has gone from 0 to 100 It's so fast.
That's what Coke does, man.
And I
Let me ask you this question. If you say yes, so I don't want to take away from your story. Let's assume Gavin says yes to this, and he wants to get blown by the guy in the porta potty, the plastic bog. Do they have to wait in the line again, or can they go to the front and say, "You guys just saw us. We were just in there."
And now we both need to go back in. I left my phone in there.
There was something we
We'll
like.
both go and get
Yeah.
it. And in my head, I'm like so blown away by the whole experience.
Literally.
Yep.
And I don't want to be rude to the guy.
Why would you want to be rude?
I don't want to be like, A, you just splashed Coke all over my penis, and B, no. So the way I phrased it was so weird. I was like, I'm not into that at this point in my life, but maybe one day I'd be into that, like trying to make excuses.
Did you really?
As to why I ended up
You were so British.
let him
That
down.
one moment, you're so British.
You don't
I
want
could
to be
have been like,
offensive,
no,
right?
I'm not gay.
Right.
But instead, I was like, I'm not quite ready. But if you see me around in like 10 years, ask me again.
Did you really tell him that? You took a rain check on a porta potty blow.
In 10 years' time, let's meet back at this porta potty.
Look, I don't know how I'm going to be
If you
feeling.
still
in a
haven't
decade.
blown anyone, and I still haven't gotten blown, we'll make a pact that in 10 years we can blow each other.
It's experiences like that totally make me wish I was gay, though. Like, it sounds like it'd be so fun. What?
Porta potty
I
is
don't-
like
I don't-
way down the list of places
I don't
where you
think
want to have
that's
a sexual
exclusively
experience
like a gay person thing. Some chick could have gone in there, done coke, and said, "I've never blown a dude who's
at.
uncircumcised."
Man, that's-
I
it's-
guess. I mean, the chances are way slimmer.
yeah. I agree with Gavin.
They don't have
completely.
like, they don't have like gay confidence.
What's that? Well, it's not two dudes.
What?
It's not two dudes, right?
What's not to do?
Well, if you have a man and a woman, if it's two guys, I think it's way more likely. Like, hey, do you want to go blow each other in the porta potty? It's like, fuck yeah, let's go do that. Sounds fucking great.
Yeah, so
Am
I
I
went
gonna
from
stand around here?
I went very quickly from being very confused, very annoyed, and then I immediately calmed down and just had like a nice chat with him, and then politely declined a blowjob and left.
It was kind of flattering, though. You have to
Yeah.
feel good about yourself.
And I came back to the group, and I was like, that was mental. I should come downtown more.
You're a hot commodity. Although I have to say, it's like, I think you experienced, that's a pretty extreme example, but you experienced what a lot of women experience when they go out to bars. I get frustrated when I go out in groups with nice girls who feel like they have to put up with guys. And it's like, because then the rest of us kind of have to put up with this shitty guy who's like, she's clearly not interested, but she's not rude enough, or she's too nice to say, fuck off, I'm not interested. And so she's just being kind of evasive, but she clearly doesn't want anything to do with the guy. So then I have to go over and tell the guy to fucking beat it, basically, or something. And I always appreciate it. I tell you what, I love going out with Barb because, as you can imagine, Barbara gets approached a lot, and she's very upfront with people. I've always appreciated that about Barbara. She's like,
Yeah, she doesn't
hey,
like-
I'm out with friends. I'm not really here to meet anybody. She goes, so I can't talk to you right now. They go again. She'll be like, hey, you need to take off. Like literally, people she doesn't know.
Just save
If they
everybody
don't get
time.
the message, she's very, very clear.
Yeah,
Like,
Saves time for everyone involved.
a
She'll
hike.
never like take the drink and then blow him off. She's like straight at the beginning. She's like, no.
Yeah, it's not what I'm here for.
I've tried to do that. Like, if a guy was going up to a friend of mine and was like, "Look, man, she's not interested." They rarely see eye to eye. Like, they rarely believe you. If they really think they have
that's
a
true.
chance,
Right.
Like, I've been called like some pretty bad stuff, and they just keep
Right.
on like, "Look, you seriously need to leave." And then you're like, "I just need to make sure I'm close to the bouncer,
Yeah.
in case this guy gets."
And especially if alcohol's involved.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
even worse.
yeah.
Let me.
Oh, your boyfriend?
Oh yeah.
Are you doing
Let me,
tipsy?
let me read this. Huh? No, not yet. Next one.
I'm gonna make
Uh,
my bottle cap into one of those cups. Go ahead.
I want to remind everyone this episode of the podcast is also brought to you by I don't know if you can see it because of the mic arm, but Burnie threw that coaster and it landed right on this cup right here.
That's amazing.
Nailed it. Well, I hit your shoulder and slid down.
Perfect. A beautiful throw.
So Gavin,
Shout out to Irish Nord on Twitter who told me that I had a tag hanging off of my sweater, so I got rid of the tag. Irish Nord.
so what's
Go to
foreskin-
fucking bed, by the way. If you're in Ireland. Christ, what time is it
What
there?
is what
3
is
in the morning?
Plus 6.
foreskin like? Is it? It seems warm. What
It's
is
like
having that experience? Like, I have no idea.
Warm. It's like shaft skin.
Brandon, you want any Coke?
It's just an extension of shaft skin,
Oh no, I know what it is.
and then it just feels like that, like thumb the middle of your penis,
Mhm.
and it's just like a slightly looser version of that, but at the top.
You like clean it every day when you're in the shower.
I
like,
mean, I have a
specifically
shower
go
every day, and
through-
I wash most of my body every day.
Yeah, you clean your body.
Yeah, but
every
no,
day.
I know, but you like to clean. Do you have to go and like You know.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it a
like when I'm vacuuming, I got to take a rug and I got to like pull it
Nah,
up
I
and
just, like,
vacuum under the other
do
rug.
a wiggle waggle with it in my
Okay.
hand, and it, flies out and gets clean.
So I see you've had to do that like every day of your life, and I've never had to do that. So
Well, every
you've spent
day
a
of-
lot more time in the shower.
Every day of my life since puberty.
You didn't clean it before puberty?
Well, I mean, you kind of can, but it's like stuck on there.
Oh no! That's not an image. Let's change the subject.
Like
This
you
image
don't
is
you
in
don't
my-
get the fully released bell end until
No.
later in life.
Really?
Yeah, that's right?
Yeah. I'm the only one who can collaborate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not circumcised either?
No.
The heck? I thought it was like, it's a lot of people.
You know,
Look,
you know what the funniest
am I
circumcision
normal? Am I
story
not
that I know
normal?
is the Nathan Zellner and his brother David, and one of them is circumcised and the other's not.
They made a video. Out
They
of
made
that.
a movie about it, yeah, and how it's like a big fucking deal. And they sat their parents down and go, "Why did you circumcise one of us and not the other?" And and their parents were pretty evasive, honestly, in their answers. But it's really funny. It's like you would think that would be a consistent approach
right.
to
But
child.
to be honest,
the-
there's not
the-
much point in doing it.
The
And it's
rate
quite dangerous.
the rate in the U.S. for males between age 14 and 59 as of 2014 is 81%.
So you're in the majority.
For a second, I thought I was a freak.
It doesn't really happen in England unless you're Jewish. Like the only people I knew who were circumcised were Jewish.
That's so weird.
Yeah, I think like when I was born, my the doctor asked my parents if they wanted to. My parents are from Mexico, and I guess it's not as common in Mexico, so they said no.
That's so weird.
I'm
So
trying to find the Zellner
or the
brothers
Zellner is
video.
is the dad circumcised?
Brandon, I don't know.
That's a huge thing, though. Like I think
I don't remember. They might have said it in the video.
Was that
remember.
I'm
the
guessing
video where
if you're
there's-
circumcised, you'd want your kid to be circumcised.
Maybe. Or maybe not. Maybe you're like, I don't like this. I don't like this messy snip work of my dick.
I knew it, so you don't like it, so you wish you were circumcised.
No, I'm saying I wouldn't like it if I was circumcised. I've got my intact penis.
I'm now looking.
I've
at
got
my
I've got 100% of the penis I was born with,
Yeah, but it looks so angry.
and it's the same size as the day I was born. So.
That's what you want, right? You want an angry-looking dick, not some
No.
like timid little.
No, I want something
Scared
that
dick.
just says, "Look, just
Was that
Don't-
the video
don't
where
be
there
afraid.
was a car accident of some sort, and they're both like bleeding? And what was the theme of that video?
Yeah, it was the heist, the sombrero. They were mariachis. What is that?
They made some funny videos.
They make some really really interesting films. They really do.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, that's really interesting. When you look up autocompletes for people, you ever do this? You ever look up somebody's name and then autocomplete?
No.
And what the most popular, like Gus, what do you think your most popular autocompletes are?
Gus Sorola.
We've done this on the podcast
Net worth.
before, so there's no way you
Retirement
don't remember this.
plan.
No, Gus Sorola, wife. People are trying to find Esther. Gus Sorola, Twitter. Congratulations, your thoughts are very valuable to people.
They're
Gus
very
Sorola,
important.
IMDb, and Gus Sorola, age.
So net
Nathan
worth isn't-
Zellner's his top is Nathan Zellner leaves Rooster Teeth.
Ah.
Well, look at
Zellner.
that.
Nothing on circumcision, although tomorrow it will be.
So which one
Maybe-
was circumcised and which one wasn't?
I think they went. David's older, so I think they circumcised David, and they were like, "Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have done that." So they didn't circumcise Nathan.
So Nathan's in the club.
And I think they were
Foreskin
both
club.
like envious of each other in some weird way.
You can't talk about two brothers' penises and do this, by the way. You can't do that.
Goes in this. So
Although one can dock in the other.
no,
I
a
hope that
one-way
it's never
dock.
happened. I don't think that wouldn't be pleasurable.
No.
No.
I like the scene in Interstellar. That was a good scene.
Did you see?
Imagine two
I literally
penises
just-
with Hans Zimmer music playing.
And they're going, "Come on, Tars! Come on, Tars!"
Except one of the dicks is spinning out of control. Oh, this
Got a match rotation. I just watched that scene again. That's such a tremendous scene.
The music in that scene is amazing.
I mean, even why is her name slipping my mind? The female lead in that.
Anne Hathaway?
Thank you. I was gonna say Anna Kendrick, but Anne Hathaway, when she passes out and she's like in zero gravity, but with a ton of centrifugal force, it's just like it felt perfect to me. It didn't feel faked or anything like that.
Isn't it centripetal force? And because centrifugal force is fictional or something?
No.
Oh.
I have no idea.
Is centrifugal force you learned is fictional?
Why is it? It's like,
Centrifugal?
isn't it nothing? Isn't it not real? Isn't it not actually what?
I don't know. I always learned to.
It's probably like
did you-
espresso.
while you look that up,
Central-
did anybody see that GIF of the Soyuz module docking with ISS?
No.
It's like a 20-minute process, but they sped up the GIF so that it happens like in 10 seconds. But it's crazy seeing,
Little
they're both
micro
like,
adjustments.
yeah, they're both like spinning like crazy. Then all of a sudden, it's just stopped and stabilized, and then it's just like locked on, dead in, and you see like the world still spinning in the background. Like
Oh, 'cause
all
it's
these
relative one.
right,
relative
all
to
these
the other.
complex calculations are going on. Then all of a sudden, it's like boom, they're just like locked on, and then.
So are they
goes straight
spending
into
a
the
lot of
dock.
fuel to stay locked onto each other? Or is
No,
it like
'cause
once
they
they're
just have to
adjusted,
make
they
the
just
adjustment,
fall-
yeah.
They just
Gavin
fall
is
together?
correct. Centrifugal force, which most people confuse with centripetal force. Centrifugal force is not a real thing, but you can feel it, but it doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's why that's why I couldn't phrase it, because I don't know what that means. What does that
I'm
mean?
totally just reading like off of a Google search here.
I'm gonna see if I can get that GIF up here. Is it going?
So like
It's
what is that?
this is that GIF I was talking about, the Soyuz docking with ISS.
Oh right.
It's like you see them just like moving.
Are we playing it?
Yeah,
Nope.
it's coming through, and then
Whoa.
move, and then just shoot straight in.
Oh,
That is
that's
so
awesome.
cool.
But, like,
Technology's amazing.
It's crazy the amount of math and computing power. Like you have to figure out like the first time you're gonna do
That's
this.
time lapse for
Whoa.
sure.
Yeah, I think they
Oh,
said
yeah, he
it
said it
takes
was
20
sped up.
minutes. Like to think about trying to figure out how to do this. Like if you're on the ground and they tell you like you have to write this piece of software that is going to take all these different speeds and angles and everything into account, and it's going to bring people from Earth and put them on this place in space.
How do people still think the Earth is flat after seeing video like that?
feel it's weird.
So many flat Earth society mofs.
No.
To this day.
There was like a rapper recently, wasn't there, who said that whenever he's on a plane, he looks out and he doesn't see the curvature of the Earth, so he says that there's no way that the Earth can be.
Is it Terrence Howard?
Curve?
He says a bunch of crazy stuff.
Turns out it does say
I don't think it was
shit.
Terrence.
Not an
Howard.
actor or a rapper, but
We did a whole podcast about him and reinventing math.
Teriology.
Yeah. He came up with a new math.
Well, how can I don't even remember what it
like
was.
2 + 2 = 3 or something.
Like
What was it?
no, it was like 1 + 1 can't be 2 because 1 × 1 is 1. I think that was it. It was a B.O.B.
Let's
Said
see
that.
what the
Earth is
autocompletes on
flat.
Terrence Howard are. No, they're all normal. Net worth, wife, movies, and kids.
you want to see insane tweets. Look at Tila
Here's-
Tequila.
Oh yeah, she's
Oh,
from my
God.
high school.
Her brain, like
I didn't know
it's-
that.
Yeah.
She was giving a Nazi salute at a neo-Nazi dinner in Washington D.C. the other day.
That might have been taken out of context.
What a loony.
You know, we're in a thing now with like the whole flat Earth thing, where there was this idea that you should question everything. Like you should if you get information, you should question it. Like when you said centrifugal force is real, I was like, I've been told my whole life that it's real, but maybe Gavin's right. I'm gonna go look that up. So go look it up. You should question that. We're in a new phase now. I think, especially post-election, where now it's not question everything. It's just don't believe anything. Everything is fake, and if anybody has any information, they're a sheep. Like you can't believe any source of information now at all. And if you believe any source of information, then you're inside of a bubble or an echo chamber. Or
You're
something
saying
like
this
that.
is the current mindset, not this is the way it should be.
This is the current mindset.
Yeah.
It's like anytime anybody says anything about anything, they're like, you're being fooled by the media.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's the new thing. It's like now we have all this information, but none of it's real information. That's the approach that everyone takes now. Now instead of questioning everything, the standard default is to disbelieve everything that you hear. I don't know that that's a healthy mind state to be in.
No, that's not like your opinion.
Yeah.
I think now it's like, if this is your opinion, just assume that it's completely true.
Yeah.
And anyone, who comes at it is just trying to like squirrel their way.
I think we've seen, that's a reaction. I think it's an extreme reaction, but it's a reaction to the fact that false news proliferates so quickly now. Like stuff is
Or
not
people, when anything negative is said about them, they say the media is lying.
right. But it's like stuff is not fact checked. Like there was that story I think over the weekend that said,
Boston.
oh no, it said that that was an older one, but someone said on Twitter that CNN aired 30 hours of pornography for 30 minutes of pornography and nobody noticed. And sites started picking it up and news outlets started running it. There was no fact checking. Nobody knows that this happened for real. It's just there was one tweet about it. The cable company says there's no way that could have happened.
Yeah, and there's that guy in Austin who took a picture of random buses while the Trump protests were going on and said like, oh, these people were bussed in to protest. And then it was everywhere.
Yeah, and it was for a conference.
And then he was like, sorry. my bad.
Right.
But then, like, that's the stuff, like, the corrections, like, no one ever sees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see a crazy headline, and then that's what sticks with you.
Yeah, forever. And in, like, 10 years, it's going to come back at a random conversation with somebody, and they're going to believe, like, no, that's absolutely true until someone forces them to look it up. It's like
If you
the
can even look it up
corrections.
at that point. Like, nobody will really remember that in the future.
I mean, everything's going to be documented, right? Like, you can be able to look up anything about anything forever. Well, until the revolution. And we're all gone.
You have some weird thoughts, Brandon.
I mean, at some point, things are going to, like, everything's going to crash.
What do you mean?
I mean, at some point, society is going to crash.
I want to point out that Brandon has spent the last 3 months of his life with Joel Heyman. So,
Oh, right.
So the fact that he came on this podcast and everything's about to collapse, go ahead.
Not about to, but at some point, it will in time.
No. Why? What is this logic?
The sun will consume the earth. How
Oh,
about that?
that's you're talking about entropy.
Sure. I'm just saying there is an end, and I think what we'd have to be worried about
What you
the
were
most-
describing is what I call the Superman problem, which is Superman fights villains all the time. And the villains, their plot is always to destroy the world. Who the fuck knows why, right? They want to destroy the world. And that Superman has to bat 1,000 in beating those villains because they only have to destroy the world once. They don't have to win one out of like 10,000 rounds,
Yeah, but
and
surely,
they win.
surely he could just fly around the shards of Earth and they'd come back together, because that's how time travel works in the first
Well,
Superman
that's how
movie.
comics work. He just go mush and then heat vision it, and then he's got the planet back. But it'd be flat.
That was nonsense, spinning the Earth the other way.
Oh, that was total nonsense.
Those are bullshit. That's like people didn't like the movie, so they had to go and like shoot a new ending.
I saw some
Oh,
people.
Lois Lane died in it?
Lois
Spoiler.
Lane died, and then like Superman's like, I guess I'll fly around backwards.
I saw some
which
people
will-
trying to argue recently that that's not what happened, that he didn't reverse the Earth and go backwards in time, that he flew so fast around the Earth using gravity as an assist that he went faster than the speed of light.
They actually show the
And
Earth
went
going
back in time.
backwards.
Right.
Oh, because he's
but-
traveling in time.
Right.
Got
But
it.
the counter argument is at the very end, he flies the opposite way a couple times to restart the rotation of the Earth.
That is correct.
So it's like that theory, while admirable, does not hold up.
Also, if you want to use gravity as an assist, go around the sun.
True. Maybe you didn't have
farther.
enough time.
Take him a long time. How fast does Superman fly?
Well, if he can do a lap of the Earth like this, pretty fast. You'd be at the sun.
Astronomical distances are much greater than you think. I mean, it takes 8 minutes for light to get here. He flies slower than the speed of light, right?
Yeah.
So,
Really?
look, dude, are we going to argue about comic book physics? Yes.
I mean,
I-
the speed that he did one lap of the Earth was rapid.
he built up some speed. He was going at a steady
How
clip.
fast does Superman fly?
And also, why doesn't he fly that fast all the time?
Because
You know,
in the
it's-
atmosphere, he'd rip it apart, like the Concorde. There you go. That's my information for you. He can totally change the rotation of the Earth,
Pesky Concorde tearing apart the atmosphere.
which would rip everything apart. By the way, I saw there's a new supersonic transport that's in development that holds only 2 people. And it'll go from LA to Australia in 5 hours. I would love that.
That is going to be
Who,
too expensive.
you're going to need a pilot friend.
Well, I think it's supposed to be autonomous.
Oh.
It's
Weird.
way in development. It's one of those things you read about that'll
It's
never
also
get
gonna be,
made.
for 2 people, it'd be expensive as knobs. Imagine
actually not.
paying what?
You got
Why-
to
why
buy. You
was-
got to buy a plane.
Also, Concorde went out of business for being too expensive,
Yeah, among other things, yeah.
and the horrendous crash.
Yeah, the fact that on takeoff it flipped over backwards and landed in a French hotel, yeah.
Yeah, it
that,
happens.
Well,
that too.
Shit
It
happens.
hit some stuff though, didn't it?
The problem
Yeah,
is,
it
if
did
you
hit
crash the Concorde, you're crashing people who have a lot of money, and people who have a lot of money have access to a lot of lawyers. It's just like
the
your risk profile's too big. On
The
something
Concorde
like
also needed much more regular maintenance because of the stresses of supersonic flight. It needed to be the engines and the body, like they just couldn't last as long. So as a result, like just created more and more
It'd all
expense.
expand too, and it would
Yeah.
have to deal with all the science.
Yeah, there were a lot of factors
That was loud.
that went into that. But you were talking about Superman. I finally saw Batman versus Superman.
Oh, you've
the
never
other
seen it
day.
before?
that. Go ahead.
It was bad, but not as bad as people made it out to be.
Yeah,
I
I'm in the
think
same boat.
It's because
There-
you went in with zero
yeah,
expectations.
maybe
Yeah.
there's a good movie in there, and I think there was just like a bunch of other shit bolted onto it. I think that there was a lot of potential. I was like, I finished. I was like, okay. No,
What did you
not
think of
great.
Man of Steel then?
I did not.
I thought
like
Ben
Man of
Affleck
Steel.
was great.
I thought Ben Affleck was good.
I thought
You
all,
could
everyone
razor blade
individually
that-
was great. I didn't even mind what's his face as Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Eisenberg?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you could razor blade the hell out of that movie. Just cut out just certain sequences and
Like
even like
flashbacks
scenes, and then you're like, oh yeah, this moves. This is quick.
Yeah,
So
but
this is-
Superman's the only part
this
that
is
I
a
was
good-
like,
Even the Holly Hunter character, like you could have created all of that setup without her being such a major character. It felt like.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was a lot
I
of
just
stuff
like
that
Holly
was like,
Hunter.
yeah, she was
She's
great.
Anytime
She was
she's on
great,
screen,
but
I love her.
just
Her and
trying
John
to-
Goodman, I just love. Basically, anybody who regularly appears in a Coen Brothers movie, I love those people. Like Frances McDormand, even like Brad Pitt, George Clooney. It's like anybody who's ever been in a Coen Brothers movie, I instantly love him. Javier Bardem, now, he's awesome. He's the villain in No Country for Old Men.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He was also the villain in one of the Bond movies, Spectre.
Quantum of Bollocks.
No,
wasn't
was
it?
Quentin Solace?
No, he was in another
It's
one.
the one with the old bird.
That was a Skyfall. It was Skyfall.
Skyfall?
Yeah.
Skyfall.
Yeah.
What did I
Quantum
say?
of Bollocks was the green or whatever. that guy's
He's
name
a James Bond expert. I would totally rely on Gavin for.
is. I've
whatever.
fallen off the last few. I'm not keen on him.
Wow, you're not even. You're gonna lose your passport. There's gonna be a
Casino
question
Royale.
when you go back in the country. They're gonna be like, "What was the car he drove in the last?" You'll probably be like, "I haven't seen it yet." But like, get out, you fucking.
I really like
ISIS.
Casino Royale.
Yeah,
Casino Royale was a
great.
decade ago. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like that and GoldenEye. I think were like the two best out of like the last.
Directed by the same man, Brandon.
I thought Skyfall was really good. Visually, it looked really good. I thought the cinematography was
Best
really, really
James Bond movie
excellent.
go.
I don't know.
Best
know.
James Bond movie go. Gavin,
Casino Royale.
or the new one. Go.
Live and Let Die.
Live and Let Die. A GoldenEye.
GoldenEye.
great.
GoldenEye's my
GoldenEye's
second
great.
favorite.
GoldenEye's great.
Fucking dope.
I might
Yeah.
stick with Skyfall just because of the cinematography and also
He stepped-
having Adele sing a James Bond song seemed like the biggest.
He stepped
the
on
easiest one ever.
a dragon's head, though.
Live and Let Die with Grace Jones, huh?
I like
That might
Live
have been
and
the
Die.
first
That's
one
a
you
fun-
saw.
Huh?
Was
That-
that
That's not.
was that the one with
that
the
was like the
showdown in
first
the?
one I remember seeing, and I was like, "This is crazy."
Live and Let Die doesn't have Grace Jones.
Although
That's View
Pierce
to a Kill.
Brosnan, not my favorite James Bond.
View to a Kill. There you go.
My favorite James Bond is Roger Moore.
Yeah,
And
he's
it's
great.
very unpopular. Moonraker,
fun.
fucking dope. Spy Who Loved Me, fucking great.
He's very likable.
They both have jaws in them.
Yeah, Jaws is the best, dude. He's dead, right?
Yeah.
I think he died fairly
Recently. Michael met him.
Yeah, I don't think I met him.
Richard Keel.
Yeah,
He's in Happy Gilmore too.
yeah. He was an interesting guy. Those really big guys like Andre the Giant. The guy, what's his name? The guy who played Jaws.
Richard Keel.
Richard Keel. Peter Mayhew, who played Chewbacca. I met him. That was like
I have a picture with him.
fucking nicest guy on the planet. The reason why we meet these people is when we do some of these events, like we don't do them so much anymore because we have our RTX in Sydney and RTX and now Let's Play Live and other events, and we kind of save ourselves for that. But we used to go and be guests at conventions, and then we'd end up with all the other guests, and Peter Mayhew was one of them. And him and his wife are just like the nicest fucking people on the planet. And it's like, I'm sitting next to Chewbacca. It's like the
Yeah.
coolest fucking thing. It's
I
just
met him
like
at Acon.
unfucking believable.
Richard Keel's 7'2". I didn't realize he was that tall.
He's a
Yeah,
big
it's the
dude.
same as all those tall guys. It's like the weird like tumor thing on the front of the brain.
Isn't it pituitary gland?
Yeah, it just like dampens all of the body's natural chemicals to stop growing until.
How come nobody's harnessed that? If they know, like, that's what causes that, you think they would be like, we're
Like-
going to grow giant people.
Like the NBA
I guess we
puts
can't.
all their
Can we
money
do that
to that.
legally?
Probably
You should
not.
look up the ages. I think the guy was called Robert Wadlow or something.
Oh yeah,
And look up his age and his height as he never stopped growing, and he was ginormous. I think he was the world's tallest man.
he's
of
8
the
foot
time.
11 inches.
Yeah, he just didn't stop.
How tall is
How-
Master Chief?
I was gonna say, how tall is Shaq? Well, look up Master Chief. Master
Shaq,
Chief height.
7'1",
I want to say, okay, so,
7'2".
you're a big Halo player, Gavin.
Ma-
How tall? Wow, that guy's huge. Look at that next to a car.
Jeez.
Yeah, he ended up just dying from like complications of being tall. I think.
Looks like two
Yeah, like
regular
your-
dudes trying to sneak into a movie together.
I think it's like your blood
on each other's
circulation
shoulders.
becomes a problem.
Yeah, he died
Yeah,
at
like lungs or something.
22.
Master Chief is 7'4". Gavin, how tall is Master Chief?
Oh, we're guessing
Yeah,
7'2".
fucker. You price is right.
Are you all answering in armor or out of armor?
I'm gonna say in armor. Who gives a shit about Chief out of the armor?
He's never out of armor.
So 7'4" and 7'2".
Yeah.
Yeah.
7'2".
Fuck.
Oh, that's right.
Great job, Gavin. Whew.
I
6'10"
feel-
without armor.
Interesting.
So he's like Yao Ming. How big is Yao Ming?
Yao Ming's 7'4", I think.
Yao Ming's bigger than Master Chief.
7'2" or 7'4".
See,
Yao
Yao
Ming-
Ming
Yao
looks
Ming's
very
7'6".
proportioned for a guy
Really?
that size.
That guy Robert Wadlow is a foot and a half taller than Yao Ming.
That's insane.
Oh, there's Shaq next to a
It's a wax
recreation.
museum, I guess.
So if he's
Look how weird Shaq looks small.
Yeah.
he could reach up and dunk without jumping. Then
He didn't. He
He
probably
could
never
bang
had
his
to
head on
jump.
the rim almost.
Never had to jump in his life, probably.
I doubt
Oh,
he
he can't.
could. Yeah, his
Yeah.
legs would break under him.
Imagine every door frame being too short.
No. It's just weird to see Shaq like looking like a little kid in that.
Yeah.
My last house, I don't know if I did ever talk about it, I must have talked about it a long time ago, but my last house I used to live in, when it was originally built in the 40s, was built for dwarves. It's
Really?
Yeah, you've been in there before, but that's why like the ceiling was low, all the door frames were smaller than normal, and before I renovated it, all of the light switches were really low to the ground.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
You should have left it.
it was
Charm.
it was difficult for me, and I'm not even like that tall, but yeah. And then there were also ceiling fans. It was something else.
Good for that family, though.
It was unusual. It was a good house. I just had to do a few
Have you ever looked
modifications.
up and tried to find out who these people were?
No,
Like,
I've been
getting
curious about it, but I never
should.
really spent too much time looking into it.
Light can go around the Earth 7.5 times a second.
So
he wasn't going that fast.
He wasn't going that fast, but not far off. Maybe like a quarter of that.
I think it was less. He was doing like a revolution, maybe like doing 2 a second. Yeah, you're right, about a quarter.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it was like they were trailing a line
Yeah.
behind him, so it's like
Yeah, he got going pretty fast.
That's probably the fastest he's ever flown. I mean,
So
he's
that's
trying to
evil
like
jet.
bring back his dead
was
love.
pissed.
It's not like he can
What was
just
her name,
do
by the
that
way?
and-
What's her name?
Lois?
Yeah, what's her full name?
Lane? Lois Lane?
Okay, got it. Earlier you said Lois Lang, and I was like, I didn't know if that was like
that's a
maybe it was
mixture of
the
two.
I didn't
Lana-
know if it was a
Lana
f-
Lang.
It's like
Flub or-
espresso.
espresso.
Yeah, I knew it was a flub or if it was he believed that, so I had to come back to it.
All right, let me read that.
Gus is
let
gonna
me read
love
this
Can I
other
say
thing
one
right
thing
here.
real quick before you do that, though?
Oh yeah.
Something I want to talk about. I was trying to figure out a way to do it. So talk about Batman. I'm assuming a lot of people have seen Batman vs Superman. The reveal that took place in Batman Superman was like a big meme thing of like the way they settled their differences with the revelation that they had.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So that, not talking about this, but talking about something else that I don't want to do any spoilers for. If there's a big reveal in something, if you're going to orchestrate a reveal and you're writing a reveal, take as long as you want to set up the reveal, like to put all the building blocks in place. Like take a whole season or 2 seasons or 8 episodes or whatever. But when you do the reveal itself has to be concise and like, here's this thing, and then you can like show all the things that built it up or whatever. There was a reveal in something I was watching recently. It lasted forever. It was like a 10-minute reveal. I'm like, then by the time you get the reveal, it's like, we already have this information because you all figured it out over the course.
You talking about
of this-
Westworld?
Yeah, over the course of this 10-minute reveal, it just took for fucking ever to get to it. And by the time it came to it, it's like, I already know this information. I'm so far ahead of everybody else on screen. I know exactly what they're going to say next.
When is Ed Harris gonna figure out that he's got the maze right here on his head?
Right there, dead center,
Yeah.
like a brand.
He's got the wrinkliest between the eyes nose skin I've ever seen on anyone.
Love Westworld. Last night was the penultimate episode of the season. It was the 9th out of 10 episodes.
And that is the correct usage of penultimate.
It is, thank you. And I've been corrected enough times. It's the centrifugal episode of Westworld.
Do you say
Typically, if a show is going to go multiple seasons, the second to last episode tends to be the biggest one.
In Game of Thrones, episode 9 of every season has been phenomenal.
Fucking brutal.
Except for like the season before last. Where it was
And like the one exception to that was Breaking Bad. The third to last episode was fucking incredible. Just incredible. Anyway, I don't know if Westworld's coming back. I assume it's going to.
They just renewed it last week.
I heard it cost so much money to make that.
It was delayed like a year and a half. Its premiere was delayed like a year and a half.
I know somebody who works in like the industry out in LA that was close to that project, and he said they just ran into every fucking problem that you could imagine, except for like, well, they ran into every problem that you could possibly imagine.
I heard that even earlier this year, while in production, they halted production for 3 months to finish writing the last 4 scripts.
Yeah.
Like they had everyone out there shooting, then they just stopped. Come back in 3 months. We got to finish.
Wow.
Writing.
But surely if they do a second season, it becomes cheaper over time because all this stuff's built and the world is built if they keep it.
They just turn the androids on. They're good. They're off
I think the estimate I heard was like $100 million for the season.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
God.
That's a lot of bunts.
I would do background work in a lot of shows. I wouldn't do Westworld.
Because your dick would be out.
You can imagine how that conversation goes. It's like, hey, you did a great job. We want you to come. You're going to be in 2 episodes. You're going to be a character, a background character. You don't have lines, but you're going to be on a big HBO show. It's like, great. When should I come in for my wardrobe fitting? Like, well, don't really worry about that because you're going to be sitting perfectly still and naked on a cold steel bench for about 8 hours.
Yeah, like I was thinking about that recently. Like when Tandy Newton agrees to do this show, It's like, listen, 70% of your time on screen, you're gonna be naked.
Yeah.
And it's hard.
And like 50% of the time she's not naked, she's having sex with somebody
Right.
with a dress on, which is I find strange. But
And it's stuff you don't forget that. Like, did you ever watch Parks and Rec?
Mm-hmm.
The guy who plays Ron did a full frontal scene in Deadwood on HBO.
oh really?
And I
Nick
just, I
Offerman?
see it. It just it just flashes at me like every now and then. I'm like, you can't like if you do that, people will remember that forever. It will be burnt.
I don't think it's damaging though.
I don't think so, but
Like,
I mean,
what's the
it's-
guy in Forgetting Sarah Marshall who's whipping his novel around?
Oh, yeah, he's the guy from
Jason Segel?
Yeah.
I was gonna say Jason Sudeikis. I knew I had to mix up with this SNL guy, who I fucking love, by the way. You know, is he married or dating Olivia Wilde?
Yeah. They've been together for a while.
Yeah, they had like a kid, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who is?
Jason
Jason
Sudeikis.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
Yeah.
The other Jason.
Yeah.
I love this camera angle.
He did one of the greatest sketches ever with like a host that was kind of out there. Remember January Jones from Mad Men? She was the host of Saturday Night Live, and she was kind of like lost the entire time. Sometimes those hosts can be a lot of fun. And he did a thing where they were looking at clouds together. It was just like, he just made the whole sketch. Just like, he went meta with it and was just like, what the fuck?
Did you ever see that video where he is the new coach for Tottenham?
No.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah, I did. He did. Those were all really funny videos. I forgot about
They were
those.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he pretends to be the new Spurs coach.
All right, let me read this now.
Question about Westworld when we come back. This
Okay.
is a hypothetical question.
You be careful. Everyone needs an ugly Christmas sweater this time of year. If you want
Ugly,
brag,
how dare you?
tipsyelves.com on anything they order on the site. Shop now so you have the best selection to choose from and have it in time for your ugly Christmas sweater party.
Gus has the beer pong shirt.
Go
Is
to
that what yours is?
tipsyelves.com, enter code TEETH at checkout, get 20% off site-wide discount. That's tipsyelves.com, and the code is TEETH.
Gavin,
Stop.
never pour
Stop.
me a beer. Ever in my life. Gus, I will take one of those beers off your hands.
Can we get?
Stop.
Do you have any ping pong balls?
All right, now we'll play.
Oh my god!
I've never played beer pong.
Really?
I've
Weren't
never
you in a
played.
frat?
Yeah, we played quarters.
That's Brandon's.
Give me another one.
Hurry.
Oh, fuck.
Brandon, just
to
throw
bounce it though, right?
Brandon,
No, you don't have to
just
bounce
throw
it.
Bounce it.
All right.
Come on, give me another one.
Nope.
Oh, that's not going to work out well for you. Help him, Gavin.
Gavin,
Come on.
help me.
Hold his sweater still.
Yeah. I like that there's already paper towels for me off camera.
So mine is a straight out of North Pole. Gavin, you have a full suit on,
I do, but without a shirt.
but without a shirt. Well, the suit doesn't come with a shirt, right?
No, yeah.
Officer, I swear
No,
I
what do
haven't
you
been
mean when
drinking.
you said no yes? What does that mean?
No, it doesn't. You're right.
Okay.
No, yes makes sense.
It
If-
does.
If the clarification is no and you are yes, right.
It is highly contextual, though. You could have said, you could have gone, you could also have said, yeah, no. You could have said it either way.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
No,
that
it
works too.
It doesn't. It doesn't come with it. Okay, so
Sorry
here's
for
the
the
hypothetical
spill.
question I have about Westworld.
I am. I didn't mean for it to overflow like that.
Gus is a married man. Brandon, you are very recently a married man. Gavin, you are very. Oh, this is the best.
Can we get a camera?
Gus is wiping his crotch out. It's the best.
It's just like cleaning a
That's
baby.
a solid sponsorship right there. Your tag's showing too, jerk.
Oh, there's some like excrement or something.
No, there's no excrement.
I sat in chocolate earlier.
Gross. What do you have chocolate there for? Why is there chocolate on your seat?
Who sits in chocolate?
I was eating a chocolate bar.
Where's
and
the
then
chocolate? Give me
some
chocolate.
broke off, and then it fell, and then I didn't see, and I sat on it.
Just
Then
sitting in your
I
own
got up,
crumbs.
and then when I came back to the chair, I saw that there was chocolate on the chair. I was like, oh, I got chocolate. So I had to go to John Mason. I say, hey, can you look at my ass and tell me if it looks like I shit myself? So John Mason checked my ass. And he
That
said
was
yes.
not in the interview. This will be one of your duties. Tell on-screen talent if they've shit themselves. So, married man, very happily committed man down there in the suit,
Ew.
right? So, this question came up as we were watching Westworld. I thought I would throw this out, saying, hey, if there was a Westworld out there and I had sex with a robot,
Is
would
it
that
cheating?
be considered cheating?
I vote yes.
You vote yes. Gus, if you have sex with a robot, is it cheating?
Yes.
Yeah. One of the Westworld robots? Yes.
Why? Okay, so where's the line then? So we got into this discussion. So I want to hear from people on Twitter. Yeah, yes or no. I can't make a poll because I don't have the actual Twitter app. But yes or no, is having sex with a robot considered to be cheating? Is that
But is that the Westworld robot? 'Cause
Like the
that's like
Westworld
an
robot.
Android. I would say Android robot I think has different.
it's a robot?
connotations.
It's a robot. Like, we also know them as characters that have gone outside the bounds. Like, when you first saw them in those little loops, and they're like the Hall of Presidents people, like, is that it? So, but what's the line? A vibrator is not, right?
Yeah,
Well,
a
a sex toy is not considered cheating.
You can't
And
convince a vibrator to fall in love with you.
I would say in Westworld, the thing you are fucking thinks it is human and behaves and.
What do you care what it thinks?
Yeah, but still, there's an emotional level of attachment there. It's
So
not.
would
yeah.
you,
It's
on
like-
the part of the thing? On the part of the
Right, you're not. It's not like a dildo or whatever.
So would
you
you
were
take
saying.
a dildo up the ass if the dildo thought it was a real human penis?
Answer the question.
No.
So
No,
you're all in the camp that it would be cheating.
Well, it's too
Absolutely.
realistic.
It's too realistic. Like if it was like Johnny Five from Short Circuit,
But what's the
nah, it's okay.
what's the harm? I mean, are you worried that your significant other's going to run off with the
Personality-
robot?
The personality makes it different.
What do you I don't get the threat level
Because
here.
I think you can get a lot of the same stuff from an android like that you could being with a real woman.
Oh, I definitely think I think that could cause a serious population crisis in
Yeah.
this world.
Would you bang a Furby?
Thinking
Oh man, that's a long pause.
to bang a Furby? I don't know. I mean, would I buy a
What
bang
if someone built a fleshlight into the base of a Furby and it
like
felt,
a DIY?
but it would be conscious and like doing its Furby crap, learning and stuff while your knobs going in it.
No, yeah. Learning's important. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I wonder, like, there will be a point at which sex robots will be normal. You will have one of these. You might even buy them for like 15-year-olds. You know, be like,
What?
here.
No, I get that's a great
15-year-olds?
idea.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a great idea. They do that instead of going off and like getting someone pregnant or just being depressed for 3 or 4 years.
But I mean, but let's just skip that whole thing.
But humans
Okay.
don't need that.
But what?
Well, we've lived millions of years without that.
Yeah, but we keep inventing
We
like
don't need
more and
any of the
more like
shit that we make
sexual
now.
devices.
But most stuff we make is to improve, upon the basics, right?
You don't think sex is a basic?
Yeah. I just feel like
I stink like beer.
You're fine.
It's hard to have sex if you're single.
If they
So
start
what are you
selling,
gonna do? Like you have no idea. Like, am I gonna go to a bar? What are the odds? If I go to a bar right now, I'm gonna find somebody to have sex with. Maybe if I meet somebody, maybe we go on a few dates. Maybe we date for a few months. Maybe I'll have sex in 3 months. It's hard.
all I'm saying is, if people are going to pick up their phone and dial a sex chat line,
Yeah.
or there's like phone sex operators, if people are going to do that, they will buy sex robots.
Yeah,
buy them
absolutely.
or rent them.
Well, let's assume they're going to buy them.
You rent, but like bring your own fleshlight. You just swap it out, right?
Take it home, put it in the dishwasher.
Yeah.
But I mean, it does call a lot of stuff into
Aw,
question, though, too.
And your cups and stuff. Have you ever seen, like, if one of your cups
I was
flips
going to say, for
over-
the love, I think robot sex is totally fine.
It's
No,
not.
I think it's fine.
I think
But it's
totally
cheating.
fine. I don't think it is. I
Like,
don't
would
think
you
it is.
bang Robin Williams in
Go ahead.
Bicentennial Man?
What's that?
What?
Go ahead.
In Bicentennial Man at the end when he technically becomes human?
In a porta potty, if I did some coke, sure, why not?
Bernie, what's that conversation like when you come home and you're like, "Oh, hey, honey, guess what I did today? It was crazy. I banged a
I don't
robot."
tell Ashley everything I do in my day. I don't
I'm saying though, if it comes up, like, how do you defend that? Like,
selectively choose what
it's
we
not
discuss.
cheating.
What if it looked exactly like your ex?
It's like, hey, what'd you do today? You were shopping and I jerked one out. I mean, I don't like. I mean, it's like
Okay, but how
don't
do you,
have that
let's say she
discussion.
finds out about it. She finds out about it. How do you defend it? As like, and she's like, "Oh, it's cheating." You're like, "No, it's not cheating for this."
That's why we have the
reason."
discussion beforehand. You set those boundaries in a relationship very clearly.
So you're gonna have to be like, "Okay, look, I just want to talk before we do this. There's a sex robot. Is it okay if I fuck this robot?"
Like I gotta send her like an iPhone picture of the girl and go, is this like
Is this okay?
gotta be approved? I gotta say, robot, hold on. This is our rules in our relationship. I have to get approval.
It's like the uncanny valley. Like, as soon as that isn't an issue anymore, then it is an issue that you're having sex with it.
Like once you cross that threshold of believability.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like,
I think
when's that going to come? Because we're on the spectrum at this point. So is there a point at which there's a line? But I think people are going to fall out as technology advances. People are going to fall out all along the way. Like, that's too far. Like, I read all the time about people who are not allowed to watch internet porn. And they're very upset. Like, I found my husband, he's watching internet porn. It's like most people on the internet are watching internet porn. That's what they're doing. And this guy in his house is like, it's against the rules of his house to watch internet porn.
Doesn't
Goes,
this want to
goes
make you
both
want it
directions.
more?
Goes both
Just
directions.
makes porn so much better.
What about in a hotel?
Well, that would apply to technology. So I'm saying as we go further along,
Mm.
what about a hotel? What does that mean?
He's not in his house.
Yeah, is it like he's allowed to in a hotel?
Well, that's the rules of his household,
Oh.
which your household travels with you.
Speaking of,
Do you ever
internet
use
porn,
hotel Wi-Fi for that?
Never.
I
Never. Although if there's anybody like that works at my cell phone carrier, it's like I just push all my horrible data through my cell phone. It's like I'm single threaded there, so it's like I'm not running for office, or maybe I could now. Who gives a shit?
yeah, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
I finally watched season 1 of Mr. Robot. Any of you watch Mr. Robot?
No, what's that?
Not
Yeah,
yours? I know
I
who's
have.
in it though.
You have?
I fucking bail out hardcore on that show.
Really? It was
Why?
really good. Loved it.
Why'd you bail? You bail on the weirdest stuff. You bail on GTA 5
Yeah, why'd you bail?
Why did I bail on GTA 5?
because you had to torture some guy with a drill.
I didn't like that. I didn't want, and I couldn't get past that. I couldn't skip the part where you had to torture the guy. I didn't bail out on it. I just stopped playing it for 2 weeks. I eventually went back to it. By the way,
Game's
I'm
a
playing my first
masterpiece.
video game in like a year, and I think I found the perfect video game for me.
Skyrim.
No.
Bless you.
Those 2 fast sneezes in a row somebody just did. They went, guk, guk. I can't do that. I can't do the thing where you stifle a sneeze.
You tried though, and it's funny.
It's awful.
You like blew out one of your ears doing it.
Yeah, it's horrible. I started playing 7 Days to Die.
Mm.
That game is fucking awesome. I played it like Alpha 1 or whatever, 0.02, and it was garbage.
Yeah, it's still garbage, but it's way better.
What kind of game is it?
It's basically like Minecraft in a zombie apocalypse, which Minecraft also has zombies, but it's the game we always talked about where you basically work all day like fucking crazy. You're watching the sun going down. This is when it's like I Am Legend. When the sun starts to hit the horizon, you just fucking bolt back to your thing, which you've been building up these defenses. And then at night, you have to hold off the zombies all night. And then every 7 days, there's just this massive attack that comes. And every 7 days, the massive attack gets harder and harder. So it's like they start adding it. It's like 20 different kinds of zombies in the game.
The
So
animation
And it just
not.
goes forever.
I absolutely love it. Yeah, it's a survival game, so you
Yeah,
go
every-
as long as you can.
Every 7th day sucks.
I was playing.
It sucks
Why did you bail on Mr. Robot?
because I don't. There was a moment in Mr. Robot where I felt it crossed the line between being inspired by something and someone just doing their take on something. Like it was inspired by a very popular movie, which you can guess if you've seen the show. And the reveal that happens like towards the end of the first season in that is the way they do it seems very much like the source material that it was inspired by. And then they also play the song from the film adaptation. That I'm like, what am I watching? Am I watching a fanfic at this point? So I did enjoy everything up to that point, but I'm like, what was the purpose of me watching this? I'm
So-
watching someone's fan fiction.
If I haven't seen that movie, would I enjoy it?
Yes.
Yes.
And even if you've seen the movie, you would enjoy it. I made the connection to it. It didn't kill it for me.
I don't know the movie.
It was just it came out of left field, and the fact that they were so like bald faced about it after like there was nothing to indicate that all in the way. And I get there's a twist, so they can't necessarily reveal that, but it just seemed like it went beyond homage to me. It went to just like a copy, which I gotta say. I'm not looking down on fan fiction. Red vs. Blue I consider to be one of the most successful fan fictions of all time. But it presents itself as like that. Yeah, it presents itself as being part of this like fun.
Would you
know,
count that as
take.
fan fiction?
I mean, I think a lot of people would for sure. I don't, but it certainly started from a place of fandom.
I mean, really,
And-
you're just using empty husks, and everything else is original.
And I think more so it was more like being a fan of like the multiplayer environment and doing a fun take on that. That happened to also be based in Halo, but I was also a huge fan of Halo, and that was the multiplayer I was playing at the time. So I think you have to be honest about that stuff. Sure, you
I'd
can't
say that-
change how something started, no matter how big it gets. People, I always see people try to do that. They try to revision.
Recontextualize.
Yeah, like how they started. It's like no,
But not many episodes were based on Halo. Like,
Not at all.
It's just a big original sci-fi story.
I definitely wrote it that way. I didn't write
Yeah.
it to be that, but I think it falls in that space. If I did a movie that had really funny characters and they all had lightsabers, that'd be a Star Wars derivative fan fiction. It would be. You know, you couldn't look at it any other way. It could be really great, but that's the category it would fall in for sure.
You know, you brought up Star Wars, so I'm going to change the subject a little bit here. I was thinking about this the other day. I am really happy that Star Wars is a thing again.
Could you fuck BB-8 and get away with that? Is he below
Oh,
the line?
easily.
Now, he'd flick you the little fire. He'd be like, all right, it's on.
But you wouldn't get in trouble with your spouses.
No. It's,
BB-8's smart though.
Yeah, we can't
So would
speak.
yeah, but it's not like a person.
What if it was okay? What if it was like Dolores level intelligence or Cortana, but it was shaped like BB-8?
So it would talk like a woman.
It had a full intelligence and it
With
had feelings,
personality?
and you could talk to it.
Then, yeah, I
and
think
share your
that's okay.
deepest, sincerest
I think
thoughts.
that's cheating.
Yeah, I
That's
don't-
cheating
No,
Yeah.
I disagree.
Yeah,
because it's shaped like a little ball.
that might
Shaped like
be.
a little ball.
I might be on Gavin's side.
Here's
still.
what I'm trying to point out. This is a spectrum. We're on it. We're heading towards the end of this. We're all gonna make the journey together towards the other thing, and people are gonna be along and go, "This is fucked. I'm not going any further than
I
this."
think if you can text it and at night think about talking to it and looking forward to talking to it, that's cheating.
That's
So emotional cheating.
Yeah, that's a whole different ballgame. I thought we were just like, you meet up with BB-8, 2 a.m.
You think you're not going to think about BB-8 after you're done?
you don't think about.
It's
Let
a
me ask you a
one-night
question.
stand. That's
You
the
don't
thing.
text Dan and think about texting Dan sometimes.
I never look forward to texting them.
Okay, maybe that was a bad example. You probably would. I would love to meet the person though that Gavin looks forward to texting. Like Gavin's laying in bed thinking about texting somebody. That would be the most amazing person on the planet. Because you don't text anybody. Our conversations now are down
Well,
to
that
like
doesn't exist for me now that I'm in a relationship and they're next to me.
that's. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
All I'm
So
saying
it
is
doesn't happen now.
I would like to. I just can't imagine who that person would be. Like this, that person would have to be like glowing all the time for Gavin to like go out of his way and be like, oh, what am I gonna text them?
I've totally
Keep like
looked-
writing and deleting.
Yeah, I've totally had times where I was like working at Waitrose or something. It's like, I can't wait to Skype someone later.
Which you were like 12.
I was 18, 16,
That was like a billion years ago. How old are you now?
28.
Yeah, fuck. You don't get to talk about that anymore.
You can't talk about something that happened 12 years ago?
You can't. it's not relevant.
How was Red vs. Blue season 3?
Greatest fan fiction ever. best ever.
Anyway, I'm glad Star Wars is back. It's crazy that when I was a kid, it was gone forever. Like after Jedi, like 15 years before another movie, and you couldn't even watch it all the time on TV. And now we had,
People don't realize that.
yeah,
When Star Wars went out of theaters, it was fucking gone.
it was gone.
So when did VHS come
Yeah, those
about?
Kenner action figures, and that was it.
And then you could remember it and talk about it. And then now we
You
had
could remember.
But you buy
You had-
the toys. They
Right.
always stole the toys, right?
now we had Episode 7 last year, Rogue One this year, Episode 8 next year. It's like we're back in a cadence of regular movies. I think that it was a good thing Disney acquired that franchise.
Well, no, before it was movies were every 3 years, and there was just 3. Like this,
every 2 years, wasn't it?
No, I think it was
It
3.
was
like
it was every 2 years. 99, 2001, 2002.
Oh, I was talking about the original.
Oh, that was
Yeah, I guess you're right.
77.
yeah,
80 and
episode,
83.
82. I wanna
episode
say,
3
for-
wasn't 2002. It
Was it?
was 2005.
Yeah, 2005, because I knew Gavin when it was in theaters. We were supposed to go see it together.
Oh, no, you're right. Yeah, yeah, it was every 3 years.
But the Star Wars trilogy now is going to basically turn into the Star Wars, like the novels.
Should have.
They're just gonna have one, like-
walked away.
What?
I learned right. I should have walked away at that point in time.
Oh, after the.
After when we were going to see Episode 3 together, I flew over to France, had traveled to the UK. Gavin and I were going to see Episode 3. We met in London, and I said, "Hey, do you want to go see the movie?" And he goes, "Oh, we saw it this morning. We came in early and saw it." And it's like, you're a lunatic to say that.
I'm not going to defend myself again. I feel like I've done it already on the podcast. It was all your fault.
Not. No, I should. It's like such a warning bell. Just like I should have heeded it.
So it was downhill since
First
then.
lifeboat. I should just dove in, cut the cords.
Interesting rule of thumb here from someone on Twitter who is this, Gianna17. Here's a good rule. If you feel the need to ask its consent before burying your sausage, it's cheating.
I would imagine that you don't have to ask robots for their consent. For instance, let's just take right now we have realistic, not animatronic, but realistic models of people that you can have in your house. If you bought one of those, like real doll, if you bought one of those and had it in the house, would that be just a thing that you have in your house, or would your significant other be like, "This is across the line. You can't have this"?
I think if you have
You're not gonna
any-
ask that. You're not gonna ask that thing for consent.
If you have anything humanoid in your house that isn't a human, that's weird.
If you have anything in your house that's humanoid but not a human, okay.
Like even a statue of a human is weird.
You think
What about
so?
like a
Yeah.
doesn't Meg have like a mannequin when she makes cosplay? Like does she put stuff like or like
Well,
a
it's like
dress
a
form?
felt torso. It doesn't have head or legs or arms or anything. I don't consider that. Well, I wouldn't have one.
Would you ask for consent? No, but it's so. Is that? I'm assuming there's a significant amount of people that if you were in a relationship with them and somebody in the relationship ordered a real doll and didn't talk to their partner about it first, it'd be like, this is way outside of my boundaries that you did this. Like, this is like you have this thing that you're personifying, and you've got it in the house, and you're having sex with it on a regular basis.
Oh, you mean you're asking your significant other for consent?
No.
All right, we moved on.
Oh wait, that's not what the person meant. They meant the entity that you're having sex with, right?
Right.
God, we got this language of like entity. If I'm having sex with an entity,
Well, did you see the video of the guy who lives with a bunch of inflatable animals and he loves them and kisses them and stuff?
No.
Sounds
I
awesome.
did not see that.
Whip the video up. It's great.
He got inflatable animals.
I don't know if it's real. It's one
Are
of
they
those.
just regular animals and he pumps them full of air, or are they like?
No, they're like, pool toys.
Oh, I have seen that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And he loves them.
Yeah,
He can't
he's-
get enough of them. He
yeah.
feeds them and
The pool toys, when you said that.
Well, I know a
do
landlord in
remember
Austin that would love to bulldoze his house. Like a guy lives with
that. It's an episode
Wolves?
of the TV show My Strange Addiction.
lions.
oh, is it one of that?
Yeah.
Oh. You
So the
showed me
top
one of those.
the top 4 autocompletes for guy lives with are lions, wolves, bear,
Oh, this
and
is- this is
specifically
the video.
polar bear.
This is the video.
What's he doing there?
He just he loves these things. He's hugging them. Gives them a kiss.
Let me
Oh,
tell you
now he's
something.
making it come and kiss him?
He's
That's
talking
weird.
to him and like.
I was
reading to
okay
him.
with it until he did that.
Listen, that guy's not hurting anybody. He's probably happier a higher percentage of the day than all of us.
I bet he's full of shit. I bet he's.
He
just
might
trying to
be
on
full of
TV.
shit.
There's
he might
no
be.
way.
I was okay with him kissing it, but then he grabbed the whale and made it seem like the whale was kissing him. That's weird. That's over the line. I'm not okay with that.
That's not different.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
no.
it's about time to wrap this
But
up.
is that cheating? Like if you had a girlfriend, he's like smooching on the
'cause
shark.
There's nothing coming out of it, apart from air. There's no words. There's no personality.
You're the emotional connection.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay.
Otherwise, what? If your hand would be cheating, wouldn't it?
Sure. But you can have sex with somebody and have no emotional connection. What if you met somebody on Tinder
like-
and you met the person? They're totally willing, and they're like, "Oh, I ended up sleeping with this person. I don't even know their name, and I don't." That would still be cheating.
I've
Yeah.
never done that, so I don't know.
There's no emotional connection.
I have
You
my
can
hand.
hypothetically imagine the situation.
My
If
hand
you were
came
with somebody,
first.
I don't associate sex without emotion.
true. Okay, that makes sense. I can see how you'd say that.
That's why I
You
cry
s-
every time.
You you were saying you'd have to have an emotional connection. All right, got it.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. We will see
Christmas.
you guys next week.
I just wanted to say Christmas.
Bye.